Yes, it's time once again for Dr. Jaimie Ronchetto, my favorite veterinarian from Cinema Veterinary Center, located on Cinema Drive in beautiful downtown Valencia. Good morning.
Good morning.
Talking off the air, there's a couple things going on. Of course, Thanksgiving. I want to touch on that a little bit and just remind that when you're feeding yourself, what to not feed your dogs. We can touch on that a little more. But we were talking a little bit off the air about sometimes the fine line on pet lovers between when they should accept your medical advice versus when they want to go all natural, or first of all, should they trust a veterinarian's opinion?
Well, yes. I mean, we are medically trained. We did go to school for this. So in general, we do know what we're talking about. I, for one, tend to be conservative with dispensing antibiotics and things like that. So typically, if we're recommending antibiotics for your animal, there's a good reason for it. Some things can be treated with supplements, and we would certainly discuss that. Arthritis, for instance, there's a lot of good supplements to help with arthritis that are more natural, with help with anti-inflammatory and help with joint fluid and mobility. But sometimes it gets to a point where more is needed. So same thing with antibiotics. If your pet presents with a skin condition, for instance, a lot of times that gets to a point, especially if there's underlying allergies, where that's not going to get better on its own, or just with antihistamines or just with a shampoo, and we actually need to use antibiotics or antifungals to get rid of the infection. So the important thing to take away is just that, we don't take it lightly. We do understand, antibiotic resistance and all of that, and we don't want to promote that. But if we are giving your pet antibiotics, please just give that as prescribed and give the entire course. That's the other important thing. So just like your doctor would recommend giving the entire 10 days, let's say, of antibiotics, and even if you're feeling better, they say give it the whole 10 days anyways, that's the same thing with your pet. If we give 2 weeks worth of an antibiotic and the skin is looking better after 7, we still want you to give the rest of that course, because we want to make sure we're treating beyond the end of clinical signs. So right. We make sure it doesn't come back.
And there's sometimes when our pets have been with us a long time, we may think we know what's best for them, but especially in a situation where like that skin condition hasn't gone away and you're just going to soak them in the oatmeal Aveeno bath, and
right.
That's not quite going to do it for them. So
it could be soothing. It just might not take the problem
right.
away.
And that's what's important. Always trust a medical professional, because the dogs, aside from their own maybe behaviors, when something is wrong, they can't tell you, hey, it hurts here, or no, I don't really want that.
Exactly.
I mean, they'll tell you in other ways. I mean, they might not want that little piece of a prescription that you're giving them, but unless you wrap it up in something, it's always nice.
Right.
I want to talk a little bit about Thanksgiving coming up. It's our annual Thanksgiving chit chat.
Yes.
And so we don't want to slather the doggy's dish with dressing and cranberry sauce and all the dark meat for the turkey, and then pour a bunch of gravy on top of it, right?
Right. Right. So,
I only say that because I've had relatives who've done that, and then they wonder why their little precious dog only lived to be 7 years old.
Right. A lot of people want their animal to feel included, and they need their own little dinner plate, and if you must, then just plain turkey. Plain turkey is okay. Plain sweet potatoes, plain green beans, but nothing that has a lot of sauces in it, nothing too seasoned. Anything that's too spicy or fattening or rich can definitely lead to problems.
Like the drippings before. Off of, if you're having the roast or the turkey or whatever, you don't want to throw the fat in there on
right.
It. Okay,
right.
Because it's the same thing, and they're little
and plain.
Nice and plain.
They're still yummy for them.
But I'm here to tell you, I have yet to find a dog that likes green beans. But you might have one out there, and that's a good. Or like you said, make up their own little special thing, or even like plain brown rice is that type of rice and stuff like that is good. Mm-hmm. We used to do also garbanzo beans too, that sort of stuff, the chickpeas. So things that are natural, but just stay away from that stuff, because dogs can also have weight and heart problems and diabetes and everything else that comes with. We talked about diabetes a couple weeks ago. So
certainly just sticking with their normal diet is best, but.
And also let the guests know. I've had to find let
Yes.
the guests know that even though they do the little thing and they make the little cutie eyes, don't give them food from the, because then I have that happen, and then for 2 weeks my dogs drive me nuts.
Yeah.
It's like, please, I mean, for the dog owner's sake, but also for their health, just keep that in mind.
Right.
Cinema Veterinary Center located on Cinema Drive in beautiful Valencia. And as a customer, I can vouch for their awesome service, and also your online internet service as well, where you can book appointments and get prescription refills. And that is also cinemavet.com. The number is
661-253-9300.
always a pleasure to have you on, Dr.
Thank
Ronchetto.
you.
And have a great Thanksgiving.
Thank you.
Time is 7:46. Traffic coming up next.